Well, hello everybody, welcome to 15 Minutes of Thought. My name is Dr. JD Swanson and welcome to this class. So this one here is the fifth of a series on Kanazawa Sensei's 5 jodan Jiyu Ippon Kumite techniques. So in his syllabus in SKIF, one of the ones that I grew up in before I joined the ISKF, alphabet soup, what happened was you would actually be able to select initially and then you had them randomly selected for you at an exam. So let's get going. Hey, us. Good, so there's an amount of genius behind these. So just to recap, let's start thinking through them. So the first one, if you remember rightly, was this idea, opponents coming in, all of them, the opponents coming in on this side, coming towards my center line. Remember the very first one, simply rotate, block, tatshuto, punching in, gyakuzuki. The second one comes in, locking in, driving in, both feet together, then from here, out. Third one, steps across, gyakuzuki. Fourth one, steps back into kokuts, taishoichi into zenkuts, and then stepping out. Right, so hopefully you can remember those just from the sides. First one, 1, 2, 3. Second one comes in, 1, 2. Third one comes in, step, kick, punch. Fourth one, kokuchi, and drive. Okay, so hopefully those are familiar with you. If not, I've linked to them in the video so you can get back to them and look at each one of those ones in depth. The fifth one's a little bit strange. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce it slowly to you. So the idea here, and I'm going to use one of his jodan Jiyu Ippon techniques for this. So the jodan one says, as the technique comes in, making osayuke, but guiding it right past you. So feeling hip, body, swing past and load. So here simply absorbing, like so, then driving Urakunuchi. Feeling here, this nice feeling of body. I'm not doing this big thing with my elbow, simply pulling down, guiding the attack past me, my body angles. Notice my center is right here. As I pull back, notice it comes to the side. It's covering that line. So I'm here, think just simply 1, 2. As I go, as I make the first motion, this guides. Notice my elbow is up and pointing on target. Fist is all ready to go. And simply as I drive forward, the Uraken comes out. So what I'd like you to do is just to warm up, just try 1, 2. 1, 2. Try it like so. Give that a go, then come back to me. Excellent. So you've given that a bash. Now what I want you to do is smooth it out. So from here, feel this nice pull, rotate back, and hit. Pull, rotate, and in. The feeling is expand, pull back, and drive. Pull back, and drive. So nice, smooth technique. Give that a go, and then we'll move on to the actual one I want to do today. Very good. Okay, so you've got basically the hand action. The hand action is hip and body together. Thinking here, think pull, think this. Then bring the other hand up synchronously with that technique, get it into position and throw. For the jodan version of this, what we're simply doing is doing the same thing, but rather than the attack coming here and making osayuke work down here, we make osayuke up here. How do you do that? You guessed it, we jump. So the idea here now is that we simply make a tuck jump effectively from here to here. Here to here. Here to here. If you've got sore knees, can't do a tuck jump, don't do this, stick to the jodan one, yeah? Use your brain when you're training. Okay, so from here, just simply think tuck jump. Okay, that feeling. What I'd like you to do is give that a go. Make sure not this, you want that height. Allow your knees to come up off the floor. Give that a go. Excellent. Now combine the hands and feet together. So it's here, feel tuck jump and hit. Tuck jump and hit. Notice my hand, as I make the jump, my hand and body twist the same action as what I was doing here. As I make the jump up, my hips, body move together, getting my center line out of the way. My arm comes up synchronously. Then I can make the arakan before I land down. So once again, very simply here, simply pull, push, and jump. Pull, push, and jump. Pull, push, and jump. Give that a go, all together. Excellent. So you've given that a go. Now, the one thing, and it's hard to show while I don't have a human in the room, we're still in COVID land. What I want you to do is as you push, just like if you remember rightly, I made a point of really pushing when we're in the second one. I made a point of really using your opponent. Normally, when I'm here, this is in Urazuki, this is up blocking. This would be sitting right here, either just below the shoulder, but above the tricep, the knot of the tricep, that little gap there. And what you do is, as you go, you push off this hand to get you out of the way. You leverage off the opponent in this one as well. So as they come in, use the osayuke, use the block and use the pressure in this palm to push down on their hand to give you that little bit more of leverage upwards. Does that make sense? So don't just stand there and have this kind of flopping. Have pressure in it as you push to leverage off the hand and lift you up. That's the feeling that you want in this particular technique. So you have the feeling of pressing and striking. Right here, pressing and striking. Use this to help you lift. So as you do the jump, you don't want to be jumping and then making the block. You want, as the attack comes in, this hits, legs lift as you're pushing down and sliding their technique past you. Does that make sense? So your timing is touch, press, jump, hit. Okay? It's that way around. So you're literally using your opponent to leverage your jump to be able to get higher. Does that make sense? Or to be able to get up where you need. So let's try that just a few more times. Make the press and jump. Here, press and jump. Press and jump. Press and jump. Very simple, but very, very clever technique. Give that a go. Excellent. So that's the 5. Those are the 5 basic Jiyu Ippon Kumites. And you think, wow, that's amazing. What I get to do is I get to hit somebody with a variety of different techniques. I get to hit them with chokuzuki, right? Or gyakuzuki. I get to hit them with mowashigiri gyakuzuki. I get to hit them with urazuki. I get to hit them with taisho. I get to hit with arakan. I get to use these really interesting techniques. And interestingly, and I agree with this, one of my fellow New Zealanders, Andre Bertel, he says in one of his articles that in Jiyu Ippon Kumite, you must always have the discipline, if you're a black belt, to be able to hit with gyakuzuki. This is the technique that we use all the time. This is our bread and butter. You must always know the distance and the angle of that. And I 100% agree with them. I think that's spot on. So why have these other options? Why have urazuki and all these other techniques? In my mind, they allow you to do something if something goes wrong, right? So for example, if I'm here and I don't have the gap for gyakuzuki, instead I may have a gap around the front of their face. This is where haito will come in. Or I'm slightly too close, haito, right? Or I'm too far away, mowashigiri. Or I'm too far away for gyakuzuki, this is where maigiri comes in. Or if I'm further away, oizuki. You get the idea. This is where our different techniques start to come into play that we use in karate. The other thing that's important is that this is where I think the true genius of Kanazawa Sensei comes in with this, is that we also don't want to get into the habit of using the same angle. And when you think about it, 99% of the time when we say kata leads to kumite, which leads to kihon, or vice versa, kihon leads to kata, which leads to kumite, or kata leads to kumite, which leads to kihon. It doesn't matter which way, they're all parts of a triangle, they're all equal, yeah, they all feed into each other. When we think about that, we do a lot of training moving forward, most kata movements are stepping forward, so therefore, when we do Jiyu Ippon normally, is that you simply practice the idea of stepping back and driving it, or making a slight angle, but making a slight angle backwards. And I don't think that's particularly healthy. I think that's actually contrary to a lot of the stuff we do. So when you think about this, what you might want to think about, what you might want to consider, and this is the geniusness of Kanazawa's 5 techniques, this is why he makes you do it. It's not for what you're doing with your upper body and the way that you're striking. Yes, those are interesting discussions in distance and timing. But what he is talking about is he's talking about different angles. So you have the classic angle, right? The back forward kind of idea, right? Classic go no sen. 1, then 2, right? The second one is straight sen no sen. The second you see them come in, right? So it's teaching you sen no sen timing, but moreover, it's teaching you this beautiful little 15-degree angle that is really uncommon in Shotokan karate. Or is it? We use it all the stinking time. Okay, so you end up with that second angle. The third one here is we don't step back to make this, but what we can do is we can adjust our angle. Side, back, forward, bang, bang. So it's talking about the way that we can start to adapt to different types of opponents by placing our foot. And it's talking about using this full range of angles here to here, depending on distance. And that's genius. Again, we're doing it to a mawashigiri, but that's the easiest way to make that calculation, the easiest way to do that. The third one is talking about absorbing your opponent. So if you have somebody coming in, just simply slipping and absorbing them, bringing them in, and re-expanding, right? That's different from our classic angles. This is a true absorb and throw back kind of action, right? So what we have is we have classic angles, we have unusual or straight in angles using sen no sen. So we've got go no sen, sen no sen straight off the bat. Awesome, right? Then we've got the idea of cutting any angle we want to adjust distance, right? Whether it's forward or to the side, using what we just learned in the other two. Then the third one is coming in, absorbing the opponent and throwing it back at them, right? That idea there. So completely absorbing on that angle. Notice it's not absorbing this way. It's absorbing and bringing them past, boom, this feeling, and then pop. And then the third one, the jump, is let's do something unexpected, right? Jump in the air, slide and hit. So you've got this beautiful genius idea that really teaches you not just different techniques, but how to actually move and different strategies in fighting. Go no sen, sen no sen. Cut angles depending on the opponent and the depth they attack in. How to absorb the opponent and throw their energy back, right? And then how to do something unexpected. And this is the genius of Kanazawa's Jiyu Ippon Kumite in my mind. He never said this explicitly to me, and nor have I encountered any instructors who've said this explicitly to me. This is my own idea about how brilliant these actually are. And when you see that, when you go into the jodan ones, if you know those, I'm happy to go through them with you. If you let me know in the comments, I can certainly go into those. I can do the maigiris, any of the ones you want, but they follow the same sorts of ideas. They follow these same concepts of how to deal with these attacks in different and varying ways. Not just with your hands, but how to move your body center in new and interesting ways that give you different strategies to fighting and beautifully introduce you to the next step, which is Jiyu Kumite. And so with that, I hope you all have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care, be well, and we'll talk again soon. Hey, us.